There is something very unique about the Baja spirit. It's a combination of what's unique about the city of La Paz, its authenticity, the culture, the people. It's genuine. It's a viable, thriving community that's really very attached to the marine life and the sea. What became very apparent about this site was to design in response to the site as opposed to overpowering the site. We made early on a value decision was the land wins. When we could go around something, we went around it. We didn't go over, we didn't go through, we went around.
One of the primary goals of the project was to work with the land, be sensitive to the natural environment, the desert, and preserve as a majority of the site, steeper slopes in particular, as open space. So it was our goal to not build on the very steepest of slopes, the most sensitive terrain. So it was a delicate balance between building locations and preserved area locations.
Be it if you're golfing, if you're hiking, if you're playing at the pool, everything is to capitalize on those views because they're so amazing. Again, from the ocean to the mountains to the desert environment, it's spectacular.
We're blessed with this striking topography that rises out of the sea. And what I love about Azul, it has two coastlines. It has a coastline by the sea and it has a view coastline as you rise above the sea back on the foothills.
Here we have the opportunity to come in at a very high altitude and see through the mountains at small views of the water that kind of start to present the site to you. It unveils itself as it goes, and you get to experience it with some very large views at a very high altitude. And so the planning of the community, the corridors, the open space areas, the neighborhood scale needs to be sensitively designed because people are looking at it from multiple perspectives, from above and below.
Well, what was very, very clear about this site is there were a variety of zones. There's a mountain zone, there's a foothill zone, there's an alluvial zone, there's a beachfront zone. So how that's going to manifest itself in the architecture is as you get to the waterfront, it'll be lighter color, it'll be airier, it'll have more stucco, and that'll reflect being closer to the water's edge. As we get into the foothills, the site has much more stone exposed, so the stucco will turn into stucco accents, and the stone will be one of the predominant building materials, and the stone will be of the site. The indoor-outdoor relationship is really the driver in how we design here. So we literally, in our design process, lose track of what's indoor and outdoor. And all of the indoor spaces are designed with the views and the access to the outdoors in mind.
Stepping the building foundation is a common technique in Mexico, but what it does is it really affords you an opportunity to take advantage of outdoor living spaces. The space that you've created on the roof becomes the outdoor dining, the living space for the home above. So if you have multiple levels, you're creating this opportunity for wonderful outdoor spaces, plus exceptional panoramic views of the site from those locations because you're elevated and you've got unobstructed views.
As we are preparing areas for roadways, as we're preparing areas for a golf course fairway or for a building site, what we're essentially doing are rescuing the plants and moving them to a relocation place on site. The probability of survival is very high because we can orchestrate how we remove it and where we place it as part of a real master plan thinking. And again, the end result is going to be plant material that's going to be native and look comfortable on site as opposed to an exotic brought in. Where we ended up in the design of Azul is we resisted the use of surface water. And based on our knowledge of the Sonoran Desert, it's more about the suggestion of water. So in our design, we'll have what we're calling an oasis setting. But this isn't going to be flowing streams and big ponds. What it'll be is we're going to where the natural terrain suggests that there's groundwater close to the surface. And what grows there? Palm trees. In the Baja, unfortunately, what they do with palm trees is they line them up based on a design solution that's kind of a veneer on the top of the land. And what we're doing is listening to the land to suggest to us where the plant material should go. Therefore, it'll require less water, it'll be easier to sustain, and again, it will appeal to the logical mind. And I think this is definitely the new sustainable direction in what I would consider responsible resort design in the future.